Hello students, Miss Lockhart here. Today we are going to be perfecting our knowledge of pattern and really having fun with it, making some pattern trees. So first let's do our drawing. You'll be using a pencil and a white piece of paper. Notice my paper is tall or vertical. Have your paper tall so you can have tall trees. Now, the very first step is to draw a horizon line. This line goes from the left at the bottom all the way to the right at the bottom. It's a little curved too, do you see? So that is the ground that the trees will be on, also known as a horizon line. Okay, so let's start our tree. The very first step is to draw a very tall vertical line from the top of the ground to the top of the paper. And then, that's right, you'll do another one right next to it. And that is the trunk of our tree. Leave room on either side so we can have a few more trees as well. Okay, let's add our next tree. Over here on the left, I'm going to start at the top of the hill or the ground and draw my tall vertical line up to the top of the paper, and then scoot over a little bit and leave some space for the trunk of the tree and draw that second line. And those two lines together are the trunk of the tree. So now I'll do another tree trunk to the right with my two tall vertical lines and another tree. There's room, so let's do it. And I'm going to go ahead and do those two tall lines again. How many trees do I have? 4. Now between the trees, I'm going to be drawing diagonal lines that are also paired. So there are 2 side by side, but there's less space between because those are the branches, and the branches are way smaller and skinnier than the trunk. So do more diagonal lines coming from the trunk, and you'll need to do 2 of them so that can be the tree limb or branch. And we're going to add more of these doubled diagonal lines between all of our trees. Remember, diagonal is like a slide, so you want your line to be tilted. And then look what I just did. I'm putting 2 of my lines behind some others that I've already made, and it's called overlapping. So when you have something that goes over another thing like that, it is called overlapping. Okay, try it out. See if you can do it. If you're using a pencil, that's great because you can always erase if you happen to go over the other branch. So I'm adding more diagonal lines to represent the tree branches. You'll really be able to see them apart and tell them apart once we start coloring and adding pattern. So here is the fun part, the pattern. You can choose any pattern you want or follow along. You'll see now I'm making curved lines. The curves are pointed downward or facing downward, and I'm repeating these lines over and over again, all the way up the tree. And I'm trying to leave the same amount of space between each of these lines. And later I'll be coloring in these fun shapes that I'm making, and I'll be making more of a pattern using color. Okay, I like that. So there's my first pattern for my first tree. And now I'm going to do almost a triangle. It's a pointed line like a triangle or A frame. It's like an A or an upside down V. I want you to repeat this line or a similar line. Again, do a new pattern for your second tree. You can do the same pattern as me or choose a new one. Now I'm going to draw some circles. That shape of the circle, it's a great shape. And it's really fun to draw and repeat and create a pattern with. So you can draw a circle like I am, or choose your own favorite shape, and you can repeat that up the tree trunk on our third tree. Make sure you're repeating the shape or line that you choose. Okay, so for my last tree, what do I want to do? I really want to do a zigzag, but I'm going to turn my paper horizontally or long ways so that I can easily make a zigzag. So I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. It's like an A frame or a V, A, V, A, and then once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it a little bit faster. I'm trying to be careful because I want my zigzag line, I want the points to touch the top of the line and the bottom line that they're inside of. So I'm going to take my time and just make sure I see lots of A's and V's, and you'll also see the letter W or M too. Okay, so when you turn it back vertically, you can see how beautiful your patterns are. It's going to be so fun to color them in. Now, this is a fun new challenge. We've worked on pattern before, but we've never made pattern with color like this. So I want you to practice coloring inside your trees using at least 2 colors. You can choose the same colors that I am or your own colors and use anything that you have. Crayons, colored pencils, markers. Now see here when I'm coloring that I leave a blank space between each shape. You need to leave a blank space between each shape that you color. So that way you can create a pattern and use a second color between the other 2 shapes that are now green. So I've done green and I skipped, so it's green, white, green, white, green, white. And I want it to be green, orange, green, orange. So I'm going to color in my second color now. Now look how I do this. I outline the inside shape so that way I can easily color inside the lines. Watch again. So I'm outlining the inside of that shape. Then I can easily color inside that line. It's just a little trick. Sometimes it's hard to color inside the line. So if you create an extra wall of color, it keeps all the color in. You can try that. Okay, so now you can see my lovely green and orange pattern that repeats all the way up and down the tree. Now I'm not going to do the same pattern on the tree branches. I think it'll look really cool just using one color. So you can choose one of the colors from your tree for the branches. Now for the next tree, I'm going to pick the red violet, which is like fuchsia. It's kind of like a reddish purple. Now I'm going to do the same thing where I outline the inside of that shape so I don't color outside the lines and then fill it in. And I'm going to make sure I skip a shape so that I can have a place to color in with the second color next. So I'll color that in and then skip a shape, color in the next shape. This is great practice. And it's okay if you make a mistake too. Your pattern doesn't have to be perfect, but let's try our best to have alternating colors, one color after the next. So I'm going to do my red violet and finish coloring in each shape that I've made. Now you can pause the video and take the time you need to color it in. Okay, now for the branches. Like I said before, I'm not going to put pattern on the branches. You'll be able to see that they're part of that tree because they're the same color. Now for my second color, yellow. So now I'm going to color in these shapes with yellow the same way I did before by going around the inside line, sort of making a wall and outlining it so I can easily fill in the space in the middle. Okay, so I would love for you to go ahead and pick your own colors that you like and fill in your pattern on your tree trunks. So you can keep watching and following along if you are choosing the same colors as I, or you can stop watching, and if you remember how to do the pattern, you can color on your own. Just make sure you alternate and change your color after every shape. So see how I am now starting that with these circles? I'm skipping a circle. So it's blue, white, skip, blue, skip it, white, blue. Okay, so as long as you're alternating your colors, it'll be a really nice pattern. All right, have fun, everyone. Enjoy your coloring. Use at least 2 colors on each tree. You'll see here in this blue dotted tree, I'm going to use 3 colors. Okay, so once you're finished coloring, you can then add some more pattern to the ground and make the grass using zigzag lines. I do 3 zigzag lines and they have a nice pointy texture that represents grass. And then I'm going to add some fun birds in the sky using a curved line with a point in the middle. You'll see in just a moment. These are fun birds because they look really small, far away in the distance. So you see I do 2 little curves and there's a point in the middle. I hope you've had fun. You can add your own details when you're done. Thank you for your participation. I cannot wait to see what you've made. Bye, everyone.